We begin today on coronavirus with updates and the latest information on the outbreak, which continues to batter the world. At least 3 Ghanaians have died from the infection in Italy and Denmark, according to Foreign Minister Shirley Ayorkor Botchway, who's been speaking to journalists outside Parliament House today.
Things that we can only do because we have to protect ourselves. If there is an emergency situation, we will definitely move in, take all the precautions necessary, and move in to assist our nationals. But for now, there's no emergency situation. I've heard that 2 Ghanaians in Italy have lost their life, and 1, I believe, in Copenhagen, in Denmark. So far, from the virus, yes. The two Ghanaians plus 1, so it's 3. There's 3 Ghanaians so far, and we're praying that they keep to the advice that has been given by all these countries and make sure that they are safe. Don't go out if you don't have to, unless it's absolutely necessary. Stay home. They've allowed people to work from home in most cases and all of that. So schools are, all the epicenters, the schools are on break so that they can deal with the numbers and bring them down considerably. And in most of the countries, I spoke to one of my counterparts in a very high incidence country, and she said she's expecting that their numbers will rise in the next 2 weeks. And this is, I think, about the second now in terms of the high numbers. I don't want to mention the country, but they're expecting even more cases. And the way it looks, once it peaks and it starts to come down, then movement starts. And those who are infected, who don't even know that they've been infected, move, and then it's spreading elsewhere. So it's like a wave. It's moved from Asia, now it's in Europe. We don't know where it's going to go next. So it's important that we do what we've been able to do and to ensure that our people are safe.
Yeah, talking about advice, are you in charge with those offering consular services out there and advising them not to travel back home in the moment?
We have actually advised even our officers who have finished their tour of duty and are supposed to come back home. We've asked them to stay on. We've given them a month. If after the month this thing is still raging, we will give them more time. So that's what we are doing. We've advised Ghanaians generally everywhere to stay put, unless it's absolutely necessary. But for our staff who need to come home, we've asked them to stay. Nobody from our ministry is going, because conferences have been cancelled. Workshops, conferences, all these things have been cancelled. And so I think that everybody, every country is ensuring that they take precautions. I mean, Nigeria, Togo.
That's Shirley Ayorkor Botchway, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration. Joseph Opoku-Gakpo is standing by for us in Parliament, and he will join us with an update. Well, Joseph, you're on air right now. Do tell us, so let's start from what the Minister came to Parliament to do, the Foreign Affairs Minister. She came to, I believe, brief the House on these unfortunate deaths of Ghanaians we've recorded in Italy.
No. She wasn't in the House to brief MPs on anything. She's a member of Parliament,
right? So
she was just within the presence of Parliament, probably attending to parliamentary duty, and then the press engaged her even as she exited. She made a number of disclosures, including the deaths that we reported on earlier, and additionally indicated that one of the things they're encouraging is that all Ghanaians, regardless of the part of the world they find themselves, they should endeavor to exercise a lot of personal hygiene so they don't fall prey. I did put a specific question to her about whether the 3 people who are dead, there are any chances of them having come to the country at any point in time or having had any physical connections with anyone who is currently resident in Ghana, and she indicates that there is nothing of that sort. And so for those who have passed on in Copenhagen, in Denmark, as well as Italy, there is nothing that people here in Ghana should be scared of in that regard, except for the fact that they are Ghanaians who have passed on, and so they are being forced to encourage Ghanaians to take care of themselves, even as they are in countries where there may have been an outbreak or something of that sort. But additionally, she says they wouldn't see a situation of any possible evacuation of Ghanaians, even if they are in the epicenters of where these outbreaks are occurring currently.
And I'm wondering, if this was not a briefing meant for the House, has the House heard it about the death of Ghanaians, and what has the response been from there?
The House hasn't heard it. She wasn't around to brief Parliament. She was just on the presence of Parliament, and we journalists invited her for a conversation, and she spoke about it. So right. Parliament hasn't been formally briefed. That update hasn't gotten to the House. The House is currently on break. They will be coming back around 4:30 p.m. We'll wait to see if it may become an issue for a conversation at all on the floor.
Okay.